Hello there, my name's Steve and you are listening and also watching the Go Football podcast. So this is the podcast that talks all about grassroots football, whether you are a coach, parent, player, referee, just got a love for the game, sit tight, you are in the right place. So, on the show this week, something a little bit different. I caught it with Scotty at Sportivos. Now, this episode had everything: overheating phones, it had bin men that were coming in the background, it had absolutely everything, and some great conversation. You never know where these podcasts are going to go, you never know where it's going to go when you've got a guest on there, but we talked about some of the World Cup winners that Scotty had coached, some of the European winners, and some of the Premier League players. So, if you want to join along in the actual podcast and try and guess who he's talking about, that would be great. And so cue the whistle and let's get into it. Always, before we do start the show, a massive thank you to Rush Sportswear. They were the ones that printed these tops for me and sent them over, and they are amazing. Great quality and also great prices too. So just head on over to Rush Sportswear. Now, look, it's pre-season. At the moment, everyone is trying to get their kits, and you've still got time to get your kits in as well. So just give them a little contact. Their service is great. Their tops are great. So check in the bio, check the links, hit those, and go and get your tops from Rush Sportswear. Hi there, and this is the Go Football podcast. So this week I am joined by a guest. We are going to be talking about the very early ages of footballers. So please welcome Scotty from Sportivos.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya, Steve. How's it going?
Very good, thanks, very good. Look, really excited to have you kind of on the podcast so we can talk about this because, you know, so many people in grassroots, they have children that are maybe already playing, and they've got younger brothers and sisters that are very, very young. So we're going to talk about the very, very youngest age groups that can maybe go and play football, maybe get involved with football, where they can kind of do that and what they would get out of it. So tell us a little bit about Sportivos too, about what it is that you do and the kind of children that go to those sessions and what they get out of it.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I am a football coach predominantly. I do lots of different coaching, schools coaching, but mostly it's football. And I have been lucky enough to work with current Premier League stars. I've coached a girl who won the Euros for England a couple of years ago.
Ooh.
I'm not
They're
sure.
at Euros now as well. Are they going to win this time?
After the result other night, I'm not sure how that will go.
Me neither.
I'm even lucky enough to be proud. Well, I'm proud enough to say I've coached a World Cup winner and European Olympic champion. So I've done a lot of football over the years, and I spent a lot of time in academy football. I used to be the under-14s at Carlisle United. I used to be the coach.
Right.
And at
so
that
it's in your
time,
blood.
It's in my blood, yeah. But at that time, I had just had my first child. So we're talking 14 years ago. And I was sat across the table from parents releasing kids from contracts, telling them they weren't good enough for reasons that I didn't necessarily agree with. And that's heartbreaking. And I know it's heartbreaking for kids and families, but for coaches, it's heartbreaking for coaches as well, sitting across from them. And a lot of people, a lot of coaches, they get into this racket with the goal of being academy coaches, don't they? That's the goal. They want to get to the top. They want to get as far as they can. And you know, I got there. Well, not to the top, but I got on the way. I was on the pathway to it. I started my UEFA A license, and I was sat across the table releasing kids from contracts, thinking, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. And it wasn't right, and some of the kids are released. I still see them to this day, and I didn't agree with it. I didn't think. I thought they were good enough, but the bosses in the club tell you to release these kids. So, long story short, I kind of started to pull myself away from it, and ended up working with 2-year-olds.
Wow, so big difference.
That's
So we've got European winners, we've got World Cup winners, we've got people that are at the Euros, we've got people that are at the very top end of the, you know, probably the best league in the world, Premier League as well, Premier League players. And then we decide to go all the way back down to toddlers.
To toddlers, to grassroots. So basically, I've worked with all these age groups, and when I was at Carlisle, I don't really want to name names. I don't think that's right, but one of the players at Carlisle is now the guy in the Premier League.
Right.
FA Cup winner this year, if you want a wee clue.
Oh, do you know what?
Oh,
In the comments, everyone in the comments, let's see if we can guess
let,
who this is.
let's see,
I mean, we
guess who
won't
it
give it
is.
away if it
Yeah,
is, but let's just see if anyone can work it out.
yeah. But in that squad, there was a couple of players that have gone on, so they've gone on to play. And anyway, I stepped back from it because I just didn't like the whole. It wasn't for me. I'll be honest. It's not for me. But the little ones, I just love them. I just think the enthusiasm that they bring, they're completely fresh. They've got no bad habits. They don't know anything. And my belief is when you get them at that age, they're the ones that need the best coaching. They're the ones that need the most detail, the best coaches. And if you can instill it at that age, then really, at the end of the day, I cannot make anybody a footballer. And any coach that tells you they can, they don't. No one knows how to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like catching lightning in a bottle, isn't it?
I think with some players, and they, mature at all different ages and everyone's on their own path and everyone's at their own ability. And I think that's great too. And I think you're right. You can't necessarily make someone have all the drive, everything that they need to be able to do it. And I think you can teach them all the skills, but you can't teach them the attitude. It's quite interesting how you started today, actually, because last week I did the podcast all about rejection in grassroots football as well, and you just talk about that straight away. And this is the kind of time of season when there is a lot of rejection. So tell us about these 2-year-olds then. So when they turn up to sessions, what are we teaching them? Can they pass the ball? Can we teach them to pass the ball? Or is there other things that we're trying to do? Are we teaching them to shoot and score? Are we teaching them straight away?
The thing all I want to do, the only thing I'm wanting to do is make sure it's fun. That's it.
Yeah.
So we start at 18 months. Basically, when they can walk, they can come. We go all the way up to 8, 9. I do 1v1s when they're older as well. But for the little ones, it's got to be fun, and you've got to. I say that any age group, if it's not fun, they're not wanting to play, are they?
Yeah, that's right.
So we make it as much fun as we can. We're just trying to convince them to use their feet, really, at that age. And we're even talking about, we talk about getting them to use their feet, but I chat to parents and say they don't even know what their feet are. We need to get the very basics.
They're
These
not
are
tying their
your
own
feet.
shoelaces.
Yeah,
They're not tying their own shoelaces at that age.
These are their feet. You kick it, you pass it, but they can do everything. They can do it. Football. The more you think about the football, the harder it becomes.
Yeah.
2-year-olds fire shots into the goal from I don't know 10 yards out, and if you put it in perspective, it's like an edge of the box screamer.
Yeah.
And they're doing it at 2 years old because they don't know any better. They just kick the ball.
Yeah, I found that before. I've actually coached. Oh, sorry. Normally, I don't leave the dog in the room as well, but someone's rang the doorbell and the dog's decided to bark. So sorry about that for everyone who's listening to a bit of it.
That's why I'm sat in the car.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get that as well. But I mean, he's dead good normally, and he normally sits here for every episode I've ever done. He's always been in here too. It's always just next to my feet. No one's ever rang the doorbell at the time as well. So what I was just going to go on there was I've actually coached children that kind of age before, and I actually love it too. And the reason why I like it is that it's all about imagination. It's about interpersonal skills. It's about them learning to work with other people and how to treat other people. And the football is really just the little driver in there. Just give me a second. I'm going to keep him quiet. Sit down, you. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's worked.
Steve, shall we say in the comments, guess the dog breed and see what we get?
Do you know what? We'll do that. Do you know what? He's been on one of the episodes before when I've had to pick him up because he was biting me constantly. Because he's only a puppy. He's only 6 months. That's why he's doing it now. So, but I've done, the coaching with that age group before. And I think that using sometimes I think there's only one way to coach. If you're going to coach 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, you have to pretend that you're 2 and 3 years old when you're doing your sessions and what you're planning out. I remember doing it at Halloween before, and they had the pointy combs, the ball, and the kind of the standard combs. And I was like, right, we're going to make witches' heads and stuff like that for him to kick over and things. And they love that. I've used blue combs and pretend that that's rivers so that they have to go around, like dribble around the river and don't fall in and get wet and things like that. And I know that some people will say, well, that's not really football and things like that. And I also did another podcast with a coach who was talking about, making players be dinosaurs and things like that when he's also playing, so that he's getting the movements right, so that when they go up and move up their stages, they go back and go, oh yeah, that's how I was moving that, and it all kind of fits in perfectly as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love this kind of age group. You do
Yeah.
a little bit older than that as well. So 2 years older, the youngest. How many 2-year-olds do we get? What kind of development do we see? Because you've seen development all the way through to the World Cup's the highest level, right? So
yeah, there's no difference. The kids.
So then, how young is too young to get started in football?
Personally, I don't think there is a too young. Someone said to me, when should you plant a tree? The answer is always yesterday, isn't it? You always
Yeah.
wish you did it before you started. I think when kids get started, if you are teaching them the correct thing, if you're building habits with them, then there is no too young. If as a parent myself, as soon as my kids could walk, even before that, I was rolling a football to them. So how long is too young? How young is too young? I just think as soon as they're, and as well, do you want your kids to be social? Do you want them to make friends? Because at the end of the day, the numbers of, you'll know the stats. You're the stats man, aren't you?
Yeah, I love stats.
What's the stat on the number of players that are playing in academy? So not grassroots, professional academy. Do you know what the stat is for the number of those players that get one game?
Do you know what? It's going to be very, very low. It's going to be very, very low, isn't it?
It's a tiny fraction.
Yeah.
It's tiny. Was it 8%? It's a tiny fraction. I don't know the exact stat either.
Yeah. And sometimes it's maybe only the one game. The stat's probably there because it's just the one game that they get to play.
And with the stat I heard, it wasn't. We're not talking Premier League. It was Football League. So it's a tiny fraction, and they're only playing Football League. So that's from Premier League all the way down to what? League 3? Who plays there? We're talking about Carlisle United all the way to the Premier League. It's a massive. It's a lot, isn't it? So I think we need to forget all about the football and the thing, and make sure we're developing kids who can enjoy themselves, who are physically active and fit, who are social. Footballs, you can go anywhere in the world and play football. And you've instantly got 22 friends if you can play football. Anywhere in the world, it's a global language. So, when should they start? Yeah, they should start as soon as they can walk, because they're going to make friends, they're going to get social skills, they're going to learn how to take turns, they're going to have to deal with, like you said, rejection earlier on. Football is a tough lesson, but football's life, isn't it? Football is just a microcosm of what happens in the world at the moment.
Absolutely. So how do you see your players that you have had from, like, maybe the sort of like 2-3-year-olds that are now maybe getting towards the top end of your sessions? How do you see their development and growth? Do you see that it's like steady progression? Do you see that maybe some players that are coming to you, maybe they're 5 or 6 that are coming to you, and you've had some that have been from 2 or 3? Do you see a big difference between the two in development, or is it?
So we can almost split it. Yeah, we could split it. We've got footballers that come, and we've got kids that love it that come. Obviously, the footballers love it, but they're there for the football. And I've got half the kids that are not really. They're not footballers. They're not going to be the top players in the team, but they're passionate about playing. They love the game, and we can't help it if we've got 2 left feet. Is it nature or nurture? But you can't help it, really. Some kids have got that gift, some don't. We can train it as much as we can, but we need to get the kids enjoying it, because they'll come. And most of my kids, more than half, say 70%, they'll start at 2 and they'll still be coming at 5.
That's great.
It's a great return. But that's because we make it fun, we make it welcoming. It's not about winning games. We don't have that crack on the sideline that's the problem that you get every Sunday. And football's competitive, and it's competitive when you're 2 years old or when you're 5 years old.
Of course it is.
They want to win, they want to score, they want to win that race.
That's why they're all running around after the ball. because they all, you know, I suppose for a 2-year-old, winning a game is maybe not the scoreline because they probably can't keep score of both teams. But
yeah,
what is winning is how many times have I touched the ball? How many times
yeah,
have I got there? So it is competitive
yeah,
for them, and it's just a
yeah,
different thing. I think sometimes adults always kind of forget, don't they? We're look, you know, I think a lot of adults look at it. The 11-a-side game is that's football. You need to score
mhm,
more goals. You need to work in triangles. Whereas for a 2-year-old, kick the ball like 10 times today in a game, and
mhm,
I just was able to dribble it around. That's
mhm.
like fun. In, you know, it's the enjoyment they're getting out of it, and I suppose it's a win for them as well. They're looking at that like I'm winning,
Yeah.
like as
Well,
opposed
they
to
all,
anything else. So,
if they're getting it's like you say, it's little things like they're winning. You know, if you can get a bib on some of them, you're winning.
yeah.
You know, and we make it fun for the parents. They're welcome. They sit together. They make friendships that last.
Hmm. Hmm.
And a lot of the kids, if the kids start at 2, and they're still with me at 5, 6 years old, I'm losing them at 5, 6, and 7 because they want to join the clubs. Then that's
Yeah.
the progression. But what I find is most of the good parents, the ones that have been there since they're 2 years old, they're the ones that tend to then take on the team when they get
Yeah.
to 5 and 6. And you
Hmm.
can see the ones that want to come out, and they're always happy to volunteer and stand behind a goal and put the ball back on their spots. Some will
Yeah.
sit, some do that, and the ones that do it, they tend to be the ones that take on teams later on, and or
So
maybe
double helping then. So helping
yeah,
the kids and also helping the parents
but
get out their shell and try and help, because
yeah,
you know grassroots football needs a you know horde of like volunteers that are just, you know, really, really good. I suppose watching how you're coaching and all the things that you're doing in those early ages is probably setting them up for a bit of
yeah,
success when they get to the, you know, the
mhm,
four-a-sides, the five. Well, it's going to go 3v3s is
yeah,
what's going to happen, isn't it? But yeah, we're going to go 3v3s. It'll be great to have some more people involved with that, because I think one of the main concerns at the moment is there isn't enough parents and there isn't enough
mhm,
volunteers and coaches to be able to run those things. But you know, getting a couple of those out of there as well is
yeah.
definitely good to go to these kind of sessions too.
Yeah, well, I try and help that. I've got a little thing that I'm trying to launch, which is a thing for the parents who are starting out in grassroots. That
Hmm.
I've got a handbook of all my lessons that I put together, and
Mm.
how I coach the kids and my philosophy. So my philosophy is all about habit. It's not about like drills. I hate the thought of doing drills with kids.
Mm.
Um, for me, a drill is like me giving someone a recipe on how to make a cup of tea and not telling them that they need to brew the tea bag for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Drills don't have that sort of detail in it, and it's the
Mm.
detail at the end of the day that the kids need.
So we've just had a quick little technical issue there as well, just overheating phones. But you know, we're all back now. So I'll just remind you where we're up to. You were just saying with drills for people, you don't like all those things, and you were just setting something up for, you know, people to go into grassroots football with all the coaching ideas and those kind of bits too. So yeah, you were just looking at those. You were just up to a bit of cup of tea, saying that, you know, it's like making a cup of tea and someone not telling you to put the tea bag in for 3 minutes. So hopefully we can go from there and we can finish the episode.
Yeah, a bit random, isn't it? But no, that's what I think. You need the detail when you're coaching.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really matter what you do. You can be running around trying to knock cones over with a 2-year-old, but as long as you're telling them and talking to them about the follow through, then it's the same detail that you'd give to a
Hmm.
14-year-old that's in an academy trying to score
Hmm.
more goals, isn't it? You need to
Yeah.
follow through, point your foot at the target, all that stuff. It's just how do we explain it to little ones? It's different. Um,
Yeah.
so basically, for me, when the parents come, I try and set that up for them. I give them all the games that we have, all the, we could
Mhm.
call them drills if you like, everything that we have. And then we talk to them about that power of habit and how when someone is kicking your child. So
Mhm.
grassroots football is a great example, isn't it? The
Mhm.
chances are you've got a kid that's 8-year-old playing against a kid who's also 8 but looks like they're 24. Um,
Yeah, happens
and
all the
and
time.
the size difference is huge, isn't it? And
Yeah.
then you start comparing. Well, my kid's not as good as this kid's, but that kid could have a birthday that's a whole year older, and that
Yeah,
development for a child is massive, isn't it? Um,
absolutely. I
so
had in so I've got two teams as well. So I had the MJPL team, and I think so. This was maybe 2 years ago. So they might have been under eights at the time, either under eights or under nines. And I had two players that in my team that were the same height as me.
yeah,
So, you know, like, and people used like, every single time we used to go to a game, they'd be like, "Are they the right age group?" And I'm like,
yeah,
100%. If you talk to them, you know that
yeah,
from a distance, it just looks like. I could have been one of the players because there was two of them at the same height as me. And
Yeah.
thinking, how are you this tall? I mean, I'm not like massively tall as well, but like I'm not 6 foot or anything like that. I'm not saying we've got some 6'8" but yeah, some tall ones. And the other bit that you mentioned earlier too, actually, was just about, you could go anywhere and play football. I had someone came for a trial session with the MJPL team, the JPL team that I run, which is under 14s. And he'd just come from France, did not speak a word of English. So, but we got through. There was a coach's board out as well. So I just gave him the marker, showed the board, where do you play? He showed me where he normally plays on the pitch. I went through all of the different things that we were going to be doing for the games as well, because I generally don't do drills. I generally just do games with objectives for a lot of the players as well, because I think that they learn a lot better and it's more realistic for what they're doing, especially at the 14 years old. But yeah, all got all the way through that too. So yeah, absolutely. I think that the communication side of it is just probably slightly different for the younger ones. But like you say, also you can go anywhere in the world and you can just play the game, can't you?
Yeah, a lot of the colleges now are doing exchange to learn English in the summer, and a big part of it's to play football. They do it through a football program. They do it through a sports program. It's a world language, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so again, back to the question: how young is too young? You're never too young to learn a language, are you? So you need to you need to start playing as soon as you can.
Exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same. And I take it that a lot of your players that do come with you, and you maybe lose them to the grassroots teams, it's quite a bit of an achievement, really, that you've helped their football journey. They'll never forget those early ages of their football journey going there too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, they do forget me because I'm not wearing the same kit. So when I see them when they're 14, they look at me and their mum and dad says, "You know who this is?" And they're like, "No." But they all tend to go to the same teams because it's the same town, isn't it? The same villages,
Yeah.
They all have a team. So these kids start at 2 together and they stay until they're 22 if we're lucky, and they keep in the game 25. But that, in essence, is the goal, isn't it? It's not so much getting a player to the Premier League. It's, can we make this a lifestyle that they'll stick with forever?
And fall in love with the game as well, because the game is wider than just being a Premier League player. I think that there's people that are in coaches, backroom staff. There's so many avenues that people can split into going into football if they wanted to. And it all probably starts at that 2 years age when they fall in love with the game and go the route that they're going wherever it takes them, really.
Yeah.
Whether that's coaching, backroom staff, whether that is managing, whether that's helping in a grassroots team, whether that's going on and eventually playing in or being associated with the professional game too. But yeah, it all starts at those very early ages.
Yeah. Would you believe me if I told you the bin lorry's here now?
Oh no way! We're not having much luck today with this as well.
I'll tell you what, Steve, you could have done this worse if you tried.
Yeah, look, I think we've covered us 20 or so minutes as well. But just let everyone know what all your links are and everything like that, so they can go and find you if they need to. And also, we definitely want people in the comments to try and mark out who they think these players are too. We wanted to try and find those out. And if they want to try and guess the breed of my dog, they can do that too. But if they wanted to cheat on that, they can very easily do it. They just need to look back a few episodes and when I'm holding him up. So they can take a little look there.
Can I just make a point to coaches?
Yes.
You have to prepare for everything. And this today is just an example of it. We've got an overheating phone. We've now got the bin lorry. When you're coaching, there's a whole lot of stuff that you've got to deal with that you never thought was ever going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Prepare for all eventualities when you're coaching. It's gone now. We're getting away with it now.
Perfect.
So Steve, thanks for having me on the show. I like I said, the website's Sportivos. .co.uk. It's very localised for the classes. We do them in Scotland. We do them in the north of England and Lancaster and Kendal. But for the parents, for the players who want a little bit more that are throughout the world, I have a 1v1 course that I'm promoting. It's a home learning course where they can practice those skills. And again, it goes back to the power of habit. When your child, and I like to approach it, when your child is facing that kid that's twice their size, that's been kicking them for the whole game, do you think they really need more skill, or do they need a habit that they can rely on that they're that's going to be successful, that's proven? And when you watch the best players in the world, when they're sprinting up the wing, they're not doing fancy tricks. It's the ball movement, it's the dribbling rhythm, and it's the body feint to get past someone.
Yeah.
João Pedro last night when he scored that screamer, he dropped his shoulder and he stuck it in the top corner, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if you've seen that yet. It's a tremendous goal.
No, do you know what? I've not seen that goal. I was actually watching Poland Sweden last night. I was watching the
Oh yeah,
Women's Euros instead
another
last
good
night.
game. Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's the course we've developed. It's just to improve the kids' little 1v1 skills. It's home learning. It's got a good app, and so yeah, if we can share that with the
Let's put it all in the let's put it all
viewers.
in the bio. Let's let
Yeah.
everyone be able to click on there. Let's let everyone go for there as well. Obviously, look, you can get us on Spotify, Amazon Music, you get us on Casterbox, YouTube also, and obviously, look, if you go through the different socials, and you might be watching some of these on TikTok, Instagram, you might be watching it on Facebook too as well. All the links will be in the bio. Click on there,
I
have a little look.
Yeah, I watch you on YouTube. That's my go-to.
Is that?
Yeah, you've got the short ones that I like. You can get them 15 seconds or whatever they're, 20 seconds, and then there's
Yeah.
a long as well. I like them.
Oh, do you know what? The shorter ones are great. And hopefully, look, we've got some good little bits out of here and some really key coaching points, maybe for people that maybe want to step into coaching, and also some coaches that are already there. But, if any parents were also thinking, when's the right age to take my children to any of the kind of classes, then
There's
we've
a good.
kind of covered that too.
Yeah, you did one the other day about with the kids with like the ADHD and things like that. I thought
Yeah.
that was a really insightful episode. That's because there's a
Yeah.
lot of that coming through now. So
Yeah,
parents
Emma was
getting
great
into the
on that one.
coaching.
Do
Yeah,
you know what?
that was a
I'll
really
drop
good episode.
Emma's links in this too as well. So anyone wanted to go back and watch that as well. She's an SEN coach as well. So she works in schools, works with football players, works with sessions and stuff like that. And she's great. And she's always posting different stuff. I've seen loads of stuff that she's done recently, which has been amazing. So, I'll put her links in there too.
That's the thing. We go down the rabbit hole of drills and coaching and how, but there's so much more to it than that. And these kids, they need more than that. They there's only a small amount that want the drill and the scoring and but there's a huge amount that want all aspects of it. And the more kids we can get through the door, the better, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, thanks, like I say, thanks very much for coming on as well, talking about all your things. I think hopefully we're going to get some names coming through for loads of different things now, aren't we too?
Yes, the flair.
Look, I'll get you tagged into everything, and I'll put you on all the socials too, and hopefully I think that's where more people are going to be commenting as well. But let's see if we can work out who these Premier League stars are, who the World Cup winners are. Let's see if we can work out everyone else that's in there too. So.
So think about we've just moved to Scotland, so we're living in the north of England. So you've got to think of footballers that are from the north of England that have won Euros and won and playing in the Premier League. The World Cup star, no one will get that. That was a girl in America, Heather O'Reilly. So you won the Olympics.
Oh, we've listed her now.
You'll never get her. You'll never find her. She played for Arsenal. She did play for Arsenal. But she was 14 and she was a standout. Again, not because she was flashy skill-wise, the effort, the determination, the will to win. That's what makes them good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the magic ingredient.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, thanks very much for coming on. Let's finish it there as well. Look, it's been great talking to you. And, next time, I don't know what we're going to be doing next time on the next show as well. I've not planned that far ahead this time. I'm trying to get as many episodes in as what we can do, especially with the summer holidays coming up for everyone. So, there'll be some more guests and more people coming on as well. So thanks very much, Scott, for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So before the season does start, you will definitely want to be heading over to Lacey's. So just head on over to Lacey's. All the links are in the bio for you to go over there. Now, when you go there and you can get the bands to stop the kids having to tie their shoes up, honestly, you will thank me later for it. But just head on over there. When you get to the basket, just drop in this code and you'll get 10% off. And that is just Go Football Pods. Just drop that in there. You'll get 10% off. And you'll also thank me later when you've been there. And you're not going to tie shoelaces for the kids in football anymore. It's going to be amazing. There's also loads of other great products. So again, hit the links, go and check it out, Go Football Pod, and get yourself 10% off.